Hi everyone! So today's video is inspired by someone on Reddit. A few weeks ago I think I posted this picture on Reddit of a look I did, and someone reached out and asked if I could do that look as a tutorial on YouTube, which again, I said it on Reddit, but I'll say it here too. Super flattering that you watch my videos. Thank you so much. And so I figured today I could do a tutorial for that original look. And one of the comments on Reddit suggested, like, does a rainbow really reflect on water? And I was like, good point. So for accuracy's sake, we're also going to go ahead and do a sunset eye reflecting on water over on this side. So if you want to learn how to do this look and another version of it as well, go ahead and keep on watching. Go ahead and start with the rainbow version of this eye look first. So I've gone ahead and built a little custom palette off camera since I kind of already had an idea, especially for the first look, of what colors I used, but I will go ahead and share what colors I used just in case you're curious. But chances are you have some type of rainbow eyeshadow at home, so don't feel like you need to go out and buy these specific shadows to accomplish this look. But for me, the first one I have is from the Menagerie Pastel Pup palette. I believe it's called Snack. I'll double check that and I'll post it below if it's incorrect, but I believe that this is Snack. This next one is from a Depotted Profusion palette. It's from the Neons palette. This yellow, you've probably seen in a few of my videos at this point. It is Twilight Moon's, Terra Moon's Twilight. I really like this yellow shade. It's very vivid. Next up, we have Lethal, and I believe this is the shade Replica. Then we have a Depotted BH shadow from the 90s palette, Depotted ColourPop from the Blue Moon palette, and then lastly we have a Lethal single again, and this is in the shade Sequence. So the shimmers underneath, this first one is from Looksy, and it is from the first butterfly collection. It's called Flutter. So that one is Flutter. Next to it we have Work from Pretties for Your Face. And this shade I'm actually also going to use in our Sunset palette down below. The next shade that we have is Looksy Beauty Nectar. That one's also going to be in the Sunset palette. The next one we have is And Peggy from Pretties for Your Face. Then we have another Looksy shadow, Adonis, from the most recent Butterfly collection. Then we have Looksy Ube, and then we have Glam Shop Zorza. So that is going to be our rainbow eye palette. Then for the Sunset palette, we have Gisa Lang from Sydney Grace, Depotted BH Cosmetics. I'm not sure what the title of this palette was. It's something in their vacation series. Then we have Depotted ColourPop from the Orange palette. We have another Depotted Profusion, another Depotted BH shadow, Depotted ColourPop, and another Depotted Purple shadow. For the shimmers, we have the pink to gold flip shadow from Lethal Cosmetics, and this one is called Arcade. The next one is an Adept single shadow. It's kind of like a purpley pinky blue color. Now this one, Adept is not selling single shadows right now, and I think they're reformulating, so I'll tell you the name, but it may not be available. But the name of this one is ACD3. And then lastly, we have this beautiful Cleona shade. This is the shade Regal. And like I said, we'll also be stealing these two from up here. I also went ahead and pulled from one of my only not depotted palettes, the Huda Beauty Nude Light. I love Huda Beauty's formula, and so I was gonna use my favorite shade of all time. Oh, if it'll focus. There we go. It's this one right here. It doesn't really have a name. It's just like this pink with a gold flip, and it is my favorite shadow of all time. It's so, so gorgeous. So those are all of the colors that we're going to be using. Now let's put some of those colors on my eyeballs. So the eyeshadow brush that I'm going to be using for this look is the Morphe M312. I'm just gonna use this one brush, and I have a color switch, so I'm just gonna like clean it off in between. That's what I did the first time, and I think it turned out okay. Honestly, maybe it helped with the blending. I'm not sure, but we're gonna do that again today. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this like light pink kind of like corally color, and I'm just gonna tap my brush in that, tap off the excess, and put it right at the front of my crease. There is that. You can see it appears much brighter on my eye than it does in the pan. I really love this color. I think it's so, so pretty. And yeah, so what I'm doing to follow my crease is I'm just kind of seeing where my eye naturally folds. Like if I open my eyes, you can kind of see, and when you close it, you can see like that crease in my eye, the hood. So I'm just kind of going a little bit above that, so when I have my eye open, you can still see it. So from this point on, I'm just going to layer each color. I'll go ahead and point to it and show you, and then we'll just zoom through this part. See you soon. Here is like that first crease part done. I'll come in a little bit closer so you can see. And it kind of blends itself, which is nice. Now I do need to kind of go over, and what I'm just going to do is I've wiped my brush off with the switch thing, and I'm just going to go in between and just kind of pat in between each one just to kind of help it out a little bit. But you can see I just kind of followed the natural shape of my eye just a little bit higher, so that way when my eyes actually open, you can still see it. So yeah, I'm not gonna clean up the bottom really because we're gonna cover it with shimmer, so I'm not too concerned about like being super precise with it. But yeah, I'll go ahead and show you what I do to kind of blend the colors together. You can see it's kind of blended a little bit better. I like leaving it as kind of this harsh line up at the top. I don't really feel the need to diffuse it because it is a rainbow, right? So I'm just gonna leave it as is. And you can see, like I was saying, the bottom part is still like very splotchy, but we're not too worried about it. So that actually leads me to the next part. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush. Sorry if it'll focus. And I'm just going to do the same exact process. Take each of these shimmers and apply it to my lid directly underneath where the matte shade is. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I guess one thing I should say really quickly, just to interject, so just how I kind of followed my crease, like my natural eye crease, to create the shape of my look, you know, I'm going to do the same thing and just kind of follow the natural crease and stop right where my eye kind of naturally creases with those shimmers. I should also say I'm not using a wet brush, no glitter glue, no anything like that. Partly just because I'm lazy, if we're being honest. It's pretty late, it's a school night, so right after this I'm just gonna take this off and go to bed. So for this, I'm not putting on glitter glue, but if you have a glitter glue at home, it certainly could help to just kind of tap a little bit on your lid for this process. Now we'll get back to it. Trying to keep my eye kind of closed. Maybe I'll help pull it down a little bit. You can kind of see that each of the shimmers is right underneath the matte that kind of goes with it. And I'm loving how it's looking. Oh my gosh, I've got so much sparkle under my eyes. That's partly why I don't have any foundation on yet. But I love how it looks. What do you all think? So the last step for the top is to clean this up. So I'm just going to use a white liner to do that, and I have this one from ColourPop. It's just the white. I think it's called Graceland. So yeah, I'm just going to follow the shape of my eye in between to kind of help create that difference between the top matte and then the bottom shimmer. There is that line. Now, I'm by no means perfect at eyeliner. I just do what I can. So what my strategy is to kind of create those small lines is, you might have seen, I just kind of use like smaller strokes, and I try to hold it as lightly as possible and just barely touch my eye, because the more pressure you put on, the thicker the line will be. Now again, it's not perfect, but that'll do, donkey. That'll do. Now I'm just gonna go over it a few more times, because you can maybe see like the white kind of, you know, obviously white isn't a very dark color, so you can still see the colors underneath. So I'm just gonna go over it a few more times off camera and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've gone over it a few more times. It's still not completely opaque. So I went over that line a few more times. You know, as it goes, the more times I went over it, the less good it kind of looked, but whatever, it's fine. So for the bottom lash line, this is actually like pretty easy. All I did was I took different like gel colored liners. Most of them are from ColourPop, 2 are from LA Girl, and I just like, you know, went in my waterline and a little bit on my lower lash line, kind of matching the colors up on top. So I'll show you each liner as I go through, and let's get started on that now. Just like the first time I did this, I don't have enough room to put the purple on the lower lash line, which I think is fine. You can't like really tell, and you can kind of see it just kind of matches and lines up for the most part. It's not perfect again, but you know, it just kind of lines up, and I just kind of drew each like new liner over the last one a little bit to try to blend them. And again, honestly, they just kind of blend themselves, which is nice, you know. It's nice for someone like me who is known to kind of take shortcuts. So this is basically the look. All it needs is mascara. I'll go ahead and put that on, and then I'll be right back so that way you can see it all up close and personal. For my mascara, I used the Essence Lash Princess, which if you've watched any of my videos recently, shouldn't come as a surprise. I only go through one mascara at a time, and this is the one I'm going through right now. Can we just appreciate how much freaking length and definition that this mascara gives? Oh my gosh. I've said this before, but this mascara tends to like kind of run on me a little bit and smudge near about like 6 hours. So if it weren't for that, this would be like the perfect mascara. But it does smudge a little bit, but you can't deny how good it looks straight out the tube. Oh my gosh. So here's a close-up. Let me kind of tilt my head. So, one eye done, one eye to go. Let me know what you think of this first eye down below. So for the next one, it's going to be the same but different. So with this one, I'm thinking I'm going to do a halo eye. So we have our palette. Let me open it up. We've got our little Z palette, and I'm just going to do a gradient, so yellow in the middle all the way out to like this deep purple on the edges. But other than that, it's going to be the same process. So with a halo eye, I typically start on the outsides and then work my way in, which is what I'll do. And again, I'm going to use the same brush I was just using. Hopefully it doesn't mess anything up. And I will see you on the other side once I've got all of those colors laid in my crease. after some hard work, I've got purple laid down and it looks crazy right now. But this is like one of those like classic trust the process type of moments. Now, you'll notice I didn't say the name of this purple. I don't support this brand anymore. The owner is very problematic, which I did not know when I first got this palette, because it was like right when I entered the beauty space, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But if you recognize the pan and you're like, oh, I wonder about the quality, let me tell you, the quality, in my opinion, isn't that great. You can maybe see from the video, I had to work to build this purple color up quite a bit. And if I come in close, you can see it's pretty patchy. So it takes a long time to blend. It's very dry and it's kind of patchy. So if you were wondering about this brand, I say skip it. You can totally find better shadows in other places. But since I have them, I do try to use them. But continuing on with our fast forward. So at this point, I'm getting a little worried about lid space. We're only in the pink and we're already running out of room. So I'm gonna go to the yellow and then blend out the other way now, just to ensure that we do get to that like middle color. Ignore this pink, that'll go away. I had a little bit of fallout, but here it is, and I think, again, the gradient turned out well. I might try to fix the patchiness on this outer purple, just because it's driving me a little crazy, but what do we think of this gradient? I don't know, I think it looks pretty good, pretty sunset-y. So now, again, following the same pattern as before, I'm just going to take our shimmers, which are kind of all over the place, and start putting them in the correct spot on my eyelid. here are the matching shimmers. It really does kind of, at least to me, look like water reflecting the sun. What do you all think? Oh my gosh, I feel like it looks so pretty. Now this one I do think, because the colors are deeper, could use a little bit of blending on the top. So, what brush do I want to use? I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. It's from BH Cosmetics. It is the number 8 brush from one of their like little sets. And I'm just gonna try to like very gently kind of, you know, blend out that top line a little bit more. Okay, so I feel like it's diffused a little bit. Honestly, it just kind of looks a little pinky, but that's okay. I'm liking it still. I think it looks really good. So now we'll move on to liner. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna kind of do the same thing with liner on this side, and I'm gonna use another one of the ColourPop liners. This is the shade Crazy. So I'm just gonna do the same exact thing. If you can't tell on camera, this is like a dark blue color, which I thought was nice because, you know, it's kind of like the ocean reflecting the setting sun. So maybe you can kind of see it's blue closer up. The good thing about this being a darker colored one is that I don't need to go over it and potentially make it look worse. So we're just gonna leave it as is. I think it looks really good. It's definitely giving that vibe of like a setting sun on an ocean, I think. And now we'll move on to the bottom lash line, which you'll never guess, gonna be the same thing. I'm just gonna follow the pattern on the top on my waterline. This one needs sharpened, so I'll be right back. I'm back. I put on mascara on this side, and I also put on just like some very light makeup. If you're wondering what I used the Bare Minerals like priming BB primer cream in Fair. Got it from TJ Maxx. Really like it. Love my light coverage type of stuff. It is like kind of silicone-y feeling, so you know, there's that. I used the e.l.f. brightening concealer. I used the Milk Makeup like cheek stick in Perk, and then I used the ColourPop Super Shock highlighter in Lunch Money. And then for my lips, I used this little mini of the NARS Orgasm lip gloss. So that's what I've got on my face. And yeah, that's it. Those are the tutorials. So let me know, which eye do you prefer? Rainbow reflecting over water or sunset reflecting over water? If you want to see close-ups of these looks and you felt like you couldn't really get quite a good look enough, check out my Instagram, check out my TikTok, check out my Reddit. I don't know if I have that linked anywhere, but if you find me on there, I'm always on Makeup Lounge, so check me out on any of those places. Let me know which one you prefer down below. Thank you so much for sticking with me and watching, and remember to stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Bye!